Hey boys and girls, and welcome to the very first episode of my tutorials. In this episode I'll go through how to create the main pad synth in the track titled Helsinki Scorchin by the Finnish duo Super8 and Tab. This synth is requested by the user Decebal or something like that from the Trancefix.nl website. So without further ado, I'll open up my Logic and show you how the original sounds. So yeah, it sounds like that, and I'll make a new instrumental track. I'll load up my Sylenth and initialize the presets. First of all, I'm a little bit hungover from last night, so my voice might be a little bit, yeah, I don't know, bad. Anyways, let's get to it. I'll first on the oscillator 1, I'll lower the fine tune down to about minus 0.12. I'll keep this as a saw wave. I'll have 8 voices. I'll leave the retrigger off, and the volume is at max. The phase is at 0. The detune I will have at around 3.48. The stereo is at max, and the panning is set by default at 0. Over to the oscillator 2, I'll also keep this as a saw wave. The voice is at 8, and the retrigger is also off here as well. No fine tune this time. The volume is at max, the phase at 0, and the detune I'll put up to around 4.0. The stereo is at max, and the panning is also at 0 by default. Over to part B. This oscillator I'll also have 8 voices, and I'll keep the saw wave. Also, again, I'll leave the retrigger off. And also on this one, I'll lower the fine tune to about minus 0.12. Yeah, like that. The volume is at max, and I'll also keep the phase at 0, but I'll add some detune around 3.33 to be specific. The stereo I'll decrease to around 1.05. The panning as again at default. Over to the envelopes, I'll have the attack at around 1.03 is okay. Decay at 0 and the sustain at max. I'll also let's see, I'll also increase the release to around 6.02. That's okay. I'll copy this one and I'll also paste it over to the part B. And over to the filters, I'll add a low pass filter with a cutoff at around 800 and something, 846 Hz is okay. Resonance at 0 and drive at 0. I'll also copy this one over to part B. And for the filter control, I'll leave the cutoff at max, but I'll increase the key track to around 1.29. That's okay. And if I'll just load up my MIDI track, we'll hear something like this, hopefully. Yeah, something like this, but I'm not really satisfied yet. I'll do some EQ as well. The bass is at 0, and the bass frequency at max. The treble at around let's see, 7.14 is okay, and also the treble frequency to around, let's see, 2062 or 2021. That's okay as well. I'll also switch it to a 2-pole. Now we'll hear something like this. also not yet satisfied, so I'll add some reverb. The pre-delay at default, damp at 0, but I'll decrease the size to around 6.83, that's okay. And the width I'll have at around 80% is okay. Also, I'll keep the dry wet to around 50%. You can just play around with this one if you'd like. And now we'll have something like this. I'll just load up an additional EQ and increase the amount of high frequencies as well as cutting off some low ones. So you'll have something like this, perhaps. So once I sidechain this pad and add some extra bass and percussion elements, you'll hear something like this, most hopefully at least. So yeah, I think that's it, and I'll post the Sylenth presets as well as the MIDI track on the description below. So, and also, if you would like some future requests, just leave it in the comments, I'll check them out. Okay, peace.